into something that I don't think is always understood.
Want to get your thoughts. We got Toronto and Winnipeg going at it. And if we base it on what happened last, and of course, we're talking about a hit that knocked out rookie sensation Sandin for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're talking about an incident that led to a 6-game suspension for Jason Spezza that got reduced to 4. And there seems to be a little bit of a trickle effect. And if we listen closely to Sheldon Keefe's words, I think there's a part of him that hopes that maybe there is some of that emotion that's drawn in. Just your thoughts in 2022, can something that happened months ago still affect a hockey club today?
I think it should. I mean, I think you have to be controlled in it. You don't want to do anything dumb, and there's a lot of circumstances that come into play that you want to make sure you put in proper pecking order. But the one thing that's the one thing that for the fans that don't know, I played against Sheldon Keefe in his OHL career. He is feisty. He's that type. He was an agitator. He was a guy that he would definitely remember and have a long memory if something would happen in like this situation. So I like that he maybe is alluding to that, and these things shouldn't be forgotten about. You might be limited in what you can do at the moment, but you don't forget about those things. I mean, I mean, it's different. It wasn't an injury on the play, but remember the whole Sean Avery incident with the Avery rule with Marty Brodeur, right? I was on that team. I was with David Clarkson. And we would sit there and rack our brains because we want to get this guy back, but we're in the middle of the playoffs. How are we going to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And we had to like bite our lip, and we had to let it go. And then the next year, I think Clarkson ended up fighting him, and I was always trying to get a piece of him. So there was times like we remembered for a long time, but there's certain time and place for things, and I think that's the read you have to have.
Well, using all that experience you got there, you've obviously come over to the media side and applied it to your everyday life. I saw you did a nice breakdown of Panarin's assist the other night. You know, now that you're on this side of things, do you find yourself sounding like your coaches, like one coach in particular? Do you wish you had listened more, or do you feel like you picked up enough over your years?
I think that it's maybe other people's lives aren't like this, but the way I think that I look at things is like, and we could think about the same decisions you made when you're 16 and 17. I have the worst Aztec sun tattoo on my shoulder that I got 17 years old. And in Windsor, and my kids make fun of me about it every day. And I'm like, good Lord, like if I had any kind of common sense, just a few more years and I wouldn't have done that dumb thing. But I think the same thing is like a player. Right now, I mean, let's put it this way. And I think that you guys would be in the same boat. I watch, it's not, I can't even put it on a scale, 1,000,000 times more hockey now than I did as a player.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you see things, so you pick up on things. And I know I did that little. I was messing around with it. I've been doing it at home, so I'll have a stretch where I'm not in for 5 days or so, and I'm still involved. I'm still entrenched in it, right? And there's certain things when I feel passionate, it's like I want to say it, right? So I'm just grabbing a colored pencil and pointing on a screen and doing that. So I mean, it kind of fulfills that void in me from not playing. But at the same rate, I'm able to see things differently now, mm-hmm. and I'm studying the game more now. And it's things that when I was playing, like if there was one thing that I wish I would have done as a young player, is just work on keeping my head up. Just keep your head up. I mean, what an easy game when you keep your head up. By the time I learned how and actually that the game slowed down enough when I kept my head up, is when I was too old to have the speed to play anymore. You know what I mean? Like there was my last couple of years where I'm like actually have my head up and I'm seeing plays develop. And we all can think that, but in that moment it's go, 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 go. And you're not really processing everything along the way. You're just trying to get by. So now I'm able to sit there in that video with Artemi Panarin the other night, just like, wow, why didn't he make that? I would have made that pass if you guys recall the play. He comes over the blue line as a late trailer in Braden Snyder, and it's there. Everyone in the arena knows. He knows. That's where I'm going. Yeah. It's like a 4-on-3 rush, and the late guy trailing, the typical two guys going in the net. Panarin's got his defenseman on him, and as soon as he crosses the blue line, like he could just lay it into an area and let Braden Snyder get it. And I would have done that. I would have been like, oh, that's a great play. But what he does is he's like, I want to make sure that Brian Dumoulin comes with me and he can't go back. And he kind of makes a little dip inside and goes outside Dumoulin turns his feet, and then Panarin just feathers one back, and Braden Snyder walks into one from the slot. And I'm like, I saw that first play as a player. I would have made it, and Dumoulin would have recovered and kind of probably squashed the play. Like, these things now that you're able to see, I find it incredible, and the game's getting more and more skilled, and we're seeing more and more of it.
God, I sometimes I fantasize about going back and playing with with what you know today and wisdom. And the first thing I would have done was just every time I had the puck, I would have found a way just to take a deep breath. And the difference between certain players are out there is that willingness just to hold on to the puck a split second longer and take that deep breath, and how things change in a split second. And it's the ones that can slow the game down, mentally, are the ones that have the most success. And then they can see three options where we saw one: dump it in and chase it, right? That was my only option.
No, it was. And maybe it was more to the type of player that I was. It was always, you get the puck and all you're thinking is go, 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 go. And I don't think the high-skilled guys think that. And even though Connor McDavid looks like he's saying go, 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 that's just natural for him, and he's able to process things. Like his mind is everything, and his vision's everything. I mean, we all rant and rave about his speed, and it's incredible. But, I mean, the game's really slow for him, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, when he watches it and seeing things happen. And I still remember one of my first NHL training camps, Scott Gomez. And if you remember when he busted in the league, he won Rookie of the Year, but that's back when Rookie of the Year got 50 points. Had a great rookie season, wins the Calder. And I played against Gomer growing up, and he was always his head was up the entire time. It might have been up more than any other player I've ever played with. Scott Gomez just skated around. He sat back in his stride. So his torso was up, his head was up, and you could see everything. You know what I mean? And it's like, all I did is, like, my head was, I kind of looked in the corner of my eye up ice. I was looking, 2 feet in front of the puck, and I'm sitting there, and then I'm just chipping it by, and I'm just straight line vision. And so, yeah, man, it's crazy now. And you're right. The patience is everything. I mean, for as good as Cale Makar and as talented as he is there another defenseman that waits out plays, one blocker goes down, two blockers go down, goalie's floating and swimming because he's waited all the way across the net, and he just scoops it in the top corner like nothing.
I don't even understand the confidence to have the stick in the air and the head up and not check back down to make sure the puck's there before you hit it. It truly is a baffling level of confidence and comfort with the puck. So we were talking earlier on the show